You are going to meet one of the great watercolor masters from Scotland today. Please meet Angus McEwan. Angus, welcome.
Hi, pleased to meet you. It's great to be here, Eric. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time, so this is something I've been wanting to do.
Well, it's mutual. I've been wanting to meet you. I'm a big admirer of your work. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm excited to see a little bit of it today. I think what we're going to do, I understand that you're going to need some drying time.
Yeah,
And so what we'll do is when you're needing those drying time breaks, I'll slip away and show some images of your work throughout that time.
sounds good.
All right. So
Yeah,
are you, it looks like you're in your studio. Where,
yeah.
where, where in Scotland are you?
I'm on the east coast. I'm near St Andrews and Dundee, so it's in Fife, and it's in the countryside. So it's a small sort of village, and yeah, it's very quiet. And I've had this studio for about 18 years. And I teach part time in a college, and the rest of the time I paint. So I spend a lot of time in here.
And what
Um,
is the college you teach at?
it's DNA. It's a Dundee and Angus College, and it's very much. I teach students who are going to art school and they want to build up a portfolio. So I teach all sorts of things. I teach life drawing. I teach, you know, painting with oils, painting with acrylics, charcoal drawing. So watercolors are kind of a small part of what I teach when I'm at college.
Well, Scotland has a great heritage of art history and art training. So getting students prepared for that is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we have four art schools. They're very good art schools, and I went to my local one in Dundee, which is like 5 miles away.
Oh,
So I
okay.
haven't moved very far.
Oh, perfect. Well, what are you going to do for us today?
I'm going to do something that kind of breaks all the watercolor rules. I use a lot of different techniques when I paint with watercolors. Sometimes it's transparent, sometimes I reserve the white. This time I'm going to use white, I'm going to print, and I'm going to use thick watercolor straight out the tube.
Really? Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm excited to
so
see it.
prepare to be stunned.
All right. I like being stunned. This will be fun. All right. So we're going to drop you off and we'll be back to you in just a couple of minutes, make a couple of quick announcements.
Okay.
All right. Terrific. Thank you. Well, if you're tuning in for the first time ever, my name is Eric Rhoads. I'm the publisher and founder of Fine Art Connoisseur and Plein Air magazine here in the States. And we do all kinds of things. We have newsletters for artists. We have Realism Today, watercolor, American watercolor. We have Fine Art Today, Plein Air Today. We have Plein Air magazine, Fine Art Connoisseur magazine. We do the Plein Air Convention coming up in Denver. We have the Figurative Art Convention and Expo. We have online conferences. We just did Realism Today and Plein Air Today, and we have one coming up called Watercolor Today. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. Today is day 229. This all started with COVID. We were all quarantined and we wanted to do something to be there for you, to keep you thinking about art and to occupy your mind and to not allow you to get worked up or worried about all the things going on in the world. Well, 2020 has been the year we all want to forget, although I think we've all found some benefit in it in spite of that. And so we have been here 229 days trying to be here for you in spite of all the craziness going on. So thanks for joining in today. We have been giving away some prizes. Today, the winner of my book, How to Make More Money Selling Your Art, which is an Amazon bestseller, is Gita Patinik from California. Gita, congratulations and thumbs up. We will make sure that you get that. And the way you win prizes is with comments. Now, we have a prize today. It's called Value Specs. I wish I had mine handy. I don't seem to have them handy, but you put them on. It's basically like looking through a piece of red plexiglass, except you don't have to hold it up in front of your eyes. And the idea is it helps you refine your values. If you're learning values, or if sometimes you just want to see if your values are right, because values make or break a painting, you pop these on. I keep them on my head. I do my underpaintings with them on, and that way I get my values spot on. And it's surprising. I've been painting for 25 years. Still surprises me how far off my values are from time to time. And it depends on the environment. Like if I'm painting in bright sunlight and I'm not in shade, then of course my values get thrown off completely. But this helps. It helps me look at my paint and look at my palette differently. So anyway, we'll give away a pair of those tomorrow. And the way to do that is to leave a comment today. Any comment, no matter where you're from, just leave a comment and say, you know, hi, it's Bob from Moldova or something. So just pick a place. It should be where you live. That'd be nice for us to understand where you are. Okay, I want to tell you guys also that couple of things coming up. First off, the plein air salon art competition. Any kind of content. We do plein air, but we also do studio. We have all kinds of categories, 20 of them. And it ends on November 30th, and you can get your entries in before the 30th. That'd be a really cool thing. You can follow me. My name is Eric, and I'm at Eric Rhoads, Rhoads, on Instagram and Facebook, and that would be really helpful if you would do that. We also would love it if you would follow us on YouTube or Facebook where you're watching. If you're on YouTube, there's a subscribe button right down there in the corner. Just hit subscribe. And that's where you're going to find all 229 days. Now, you're going to find about twice that much content because every day I'm on at 12 noon and I'm interviewing artists. I'm doing art marketing talks, doing a lot of other things, interviews with art galleries and with art collectors. But also every day at 3 p.m., we're offering you a free sample of the over 600 art instruction videos that we've created over the past, 30 years. And so you have access to those if you subscribe. So they're all in there. Obviously, I'm here every day at 12 noon, and you can tune in any day at 12 noon Eastern. That's New York time. And we have a gift for everyone who wants to tune in. You can get this in DVD form if you pay shipping, or you can get it digitally for free. It's a 2-hour video. It's called 97 Amazing Painting Secrets from the World's Best Artists. We put together this 2-hour video. It would normally sell for $100. And the idea is that giving you clips from some of the best videos that we've created over time. And if you've not seen this, it's our gift to you. Just go to 97tips.com to get that. I should also mention to you that we have Watercolor Live coming up, and that is going to be spectacular. I have been communicating with a lot of the artists as late as Friday. And some great things are going to be happening. Some of the world's leading artists. This is a rare occasion when you get the best of the best in a single place like this. And it's all virtual. It's all online. It's the 28th through 30th of January. And there is a beginner day, the 27th of January, for those of you who want to kind of learn the basics of watercolor. And if you register before the end of this month, you're going to save $200. Now, this is really reasonably priced. You know, if you were to go to a live event, we have many. We were working on a live watercolor event, but of course we weren't able to do it because of COVID. But if you were going to go, you'd pay for airfare, hotel, rental car, and meals and everything else. So you could spend $2,000-3,000. And so this is nice. You know, you can get it, watch in the comfort of your home, just block out the time, and you get replays. And so if you can't watch it because you're working or you can't make the dates, you can still get the replays. And so go to Watercolor Live. I want to go through real quickly the faculty, and this is pretty much in alphabetical order, I believe, maybe not, we'll see. We have Linda Daly Baker is going to be teaching. Angus McEwan, who you're meeting today, a great watercolorist from Scotland. Michael Holter will be coming in from Dallas, Texas. Kim Michenko, I have so screwed this up, Kim. I'm so sorry. I'm not even going to try. I knew it. I got it wrong before. So somebody help me there. Forgive me for that. Brenda Swinson, Jean Peterson, John Solomon, Joseph Zbukvich from Australia, Keiko Tanabe, great Japanese artist, the great Lauren McCracken. And look at that foil. I mean, I can't even imagine how to do that with any medium, let alone watercolor. I mean, this guy's amazing. Mario Robinson, the great figurative artist. Matthew Bird. Pablo Rubin from Spain, who you met the other day on the show. Suni Warren, Stephen Zhang, Thomas W. Schaller, Andy Evenson, and Dan Marshall, and a couple more were going to be announced. And so make sure to sign up for that and get it done before November 30th. It's at watercolorlive.com. Speaking of this, I know we always get a few watercolorists when we have a watercolorist on. I want to tell you that we have this newsletter, and you can subscribe for free. It comes weekly. It's edited by Kelly Kane, who's the former editor of Watercolor Magazine, is now the editor also of Plein Air Magazine. She's a superstar. We love her. Go to americanwatercolor.net/subscribe. It's yours. We've got about 40,000 people subscribing. We'd like to have you as well. All right. Okay. I think that's all I got. Major thing today. Every day at 3 p.m., we're offering you a sample of some of our top videos. Today, this is probably our best-selling landscape video ever. This is Joseph McGurl, and it's going to be on at 3 p.m. today, Advanced Landscape Painting. And Joseph is not only one of the world's nicest guys, he's one of the most thoughtful, one of the most intelligent. When it comes to painting, this guy is an absolute rock star. I just love watching him paint, and you're going to love it today. That'll be today at 3 o'clock. And you find it on YouTube or Facebook. Just search Streamline Art Video. And of course, the replays of that will be on YouTube as well. You can find it on YouTube. But look at this work that he does, just absolutely stunning. This one is the cover of the video, Advanced Landscape Painting, and it goes into a lot of detail about his glazing and everything else. And then this is Painting Light and Atmosphere, which is his first one. And just absolutely a top seller and absolutely one of the best all-around guys. And so you'll get to know him. Speaking of great all-around guys, I want to bring back Angus McEwan. Agnes, now we have a little bit of a close-up. I'm going to take my camera off so we can see you.
Yeah, it's a little bit close. I thought I'd come into the picture. This is set up so you can see the painting behind me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a door that I found in Morocco. And I'm going to show you, most people who would do a kind of hyper-realist kind of painting of this type of subject matter would probably, do a tracing and then basically color it in. And I'm going to show a kind of fairly quick way of working that employs a different approach, almost the opposite, sort of building it from the back to the front.
So is this a photo reference of the door?
That's the photo on the left, yeah.
Okay.
So this is actually, I'll just show you. This is a piece that I did. This is just half done. So some of it you can see is sort of drawn out and sort of worked up, and some of it's got detail in it, and some of it's just very basic. And I use this when I'm working with my students to show them some of the things that they can do, because there's a variety of different things going on in that whole thing.
No, I love the textures.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just get started.
So do you want to leave the photo reference up the whole time? Is that?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is just lightly spray the surface with some clean water.
Now, Agnes, for the benefit of everybody watching, they're going to ask all the same questions. They're going to say, what is the paper weight, or what is the surface? What is the...
Yeah, this is handmade Fabriano. This was purchased, well, it's actually given to me from the museum in Fabriano, but you can purchase it in Fabriano. And it's 180 pounds.
180 pounds.
Yeah. And what I do is I use masking tape to stick the paper to the board, and I double my masking tape all on the back, and then I put a couple of staples in so that I can paint right to the edge. So you can't actually see the edge there. I've cropped it close, but it's I do this so that I can go right to the edge, and then I can, when I frame my work, I like to see the deckled edge in my painting.
All right. And what is the paint that you put on there?
Daniel Smith. I'm using Daniel Smith paint. I am using Lucas for my white. So this is the Chinese white that I'll be using, and it is watercolor, just in case anybody suggests otherwise. And I'm using cobalt teal blue here, and manganese blue to start off with.
All right.
So what I'm doing is I've got a piece of cardboard here, and what I'm going to do is just put some thick paint in here. I've got some Verditer as well, and some white, and I'm going to mix that. I wanted to show you my palette, but we couldn't do this because of the limitations of the broadband at the moment. So unfortunately, I'm having to do it this way, but that's okay. We can still see, hopefully, the mixing. And I mixed that fairly thoroughly on the piece of cardboard. Make sure there's lots of paint on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to print.
Really? Oh, it's fascinating.
So just
I would have never thought of that. What a great idea.
Yeah, well, it's a kind of it's a way that most people don't think about using watercolor, because they think of it as being transparent, and that you shouldn't be able to do that. So after I've done this demonstration, a lot of people are suspicious that I've used something. I've done some black arts, but that's okay. It's I think you should take the opportunity to try different things and experiment. So I've used the orange as the background. The door obviously is wooden, and sometimes I kind of pull it back by washing out. So more paint. You go through a lot of paint, that's the only thing.
Who cares? You're getting such an incredible.
I'm sure they think it's great because I go through quite a lot of paint.
Well, the manufacturers love that.
Yeah. I'm probably using a year's supply here.
Well, that's okay.
So,
the goal is to get a great painting.
Yeah.
You got people watching from all over the world. I see India, I see Norway, Saudi Arabia. Man, you're drawing them in. Canada, Russia.
Fantastic. These are all places I love.
Me too. New Zealand.
A wee bit more.
Bob from Moldavia. Moldavia. All right.
So make sure I've got plenty of paint on there.
Yeah.
Especially at the top.
So are you lightening it up now?
Yeah, it's just slightly lighter. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the spray, and I'm going to just lightly spray this. And the idea is to let this run.
All right.
And you see some interesting things happening where we kind of left with thicker bits and thinner bits. Okay, I'm going to use the hairdryer just to dry this, and then I'm going to put another layer on and sort of build it up a little bit thicker. It's once you dry it, you see what you've got. It's difficult to tell at this stage what's going on, but what's interesting is you'll get really kind of thick bits and thinner bits, and we can work with that later on in the picture.
So okay. Do you want me to break away for a second while you get the hairdryer out, or
yeah, I'm just going to use the hairdryer and dry this a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you off camera for. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna mute your mic, and then you have to kind of put your face back on camera so okay. I can see. All right. So what we're gonna do here is just take a look at some of Agnes's work, just so you get a feel for it. Unbelievable. I mean, look at the quality. Talk about realism. It should have been on Realism Live as well. Wow. I mean, the depth, I just want to reach out and touch it. You can see so much form and so much depth in there. It's incredible. I'd love for you guys to comment on these in the comment section too. Okay. Oh, look at that. So this just shows you, you can take some photo references of some really interesting things that maybe most of us wouldn't even think of for a watercolor. And look at that. I'll be curious if that's out the studio window or if that's in Scotland. Looks like it's Scotland to me. Here's another, looks like a door, old door. Just fabulous. All right. Well, Angus is going to be a part of Watercolor Live. He's going to be teaching in Watercolor Live, which is our 4-day event coming up in late January. You want to make sure you're part of that. We have people signed up from over 20 countries. People are going to be watching live. A lot of them will be sitting up in the middle of the night. Others will be watching the replays, which are available to you at different levels when you sign up. And so make sure you check it out. I think you would go to the website and just find out about it. I think you would find it to be pretty exciting. I think it's going to be a huge worldwide audience. It was very rare to have this many of the top artists together in one place. So pretty cool. I'm going to go back and see if we're dry now. How are we doing on dry time?
Yeah, that's me dry, and I'm now ready to put the next layer on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a lighter layer. So I've got quite a lot of the white and a little bit of the manganese blue, and I'm just going to spread that on there. So you can see when it dried, there's quite a lot of kind of orange shining through there. So I'm going to just paint a little bit more.
Have you ever tried those wallpaper blocks, texture blocks?
Yeah. Even wallpaper, the really thick wallpaper.
Yeah.
You can print with that.
Oh yeah, you could get some great effects with that.
Yeah, you do. I was using that actually recently with my students when they were using acrylics. It's a really interesting kind of technique you can use printing with wallpaper.
One thing I learned from Joseph McGurl, who's going to be featured today, is that he oftentimes talks of painting as if you're rubber stamping. So putting paint in your brush and stamping it on instead of brush stroking it on.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Whatever works. I've seen his paintings. I saw his painting in Barcelona a couple of years ago, and it was an amazing painting he had. So more paint.
Right.
Nice and thick.
Well, your audio is coming through pretty well. The video is a little spotty, but I guess that's okay. Yeah. That's life in a small town, isn't it?
Well, you know what? We've had problems with our broadband. That's why I couldn't. I wanted to do something so much more, but just the other day there was problems with the broadband. So obviously it's not fixed, which is a real shame. Okay, so now I'm going to use the water to just give that a light spray again.
We can hear it. We just can't see it. I think the video is taking a while to catch up to the spray.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this.
Oh, no, that's okay. We're not complaining. We're loving this. People are going nuts in the comments. I love this.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Okay, so what is happening? You probably, you're not seeing it, which is a real shame.
Well, I can start. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing some dribbling happening.
we're getting some of the darker blues coming through and mixing with this, and yeah, it's creating an interesting effect. I'm going to actually take the cardboard and I'm going to just, while it's soaking wet, just stamp it a little bit as well. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit of paint on just to.
Somebody mentioned I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Angus?
Angus, yeah.
Angus.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been saying it wrong. I apologize.
That's okay. I didn't even notice.
Yes, it's a lighter shade of blue to the comments.
Yeah. So I'm doing this to basically cover some of the barer parts. And then,
it looks like it's a pretty thick and bumpy surface too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can use that to our advantage. Okay, I'm going to use a hairdryer again.
Okay.
Okay. Just
All
to
right.
dry this up a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to take him off camera for just a second and just mention to you guys, you could do this with watercolor, I mean with acrylic or with oil as well. The difference with oil is the drying time is going to be tremendous. Watercolor, he's getting it dried right away. I would imagine if you wanted to use it as an underpainting for an oil painting, you could do that with acrylic and have it dry pretty quickly as well to get that kind of effect. So it might be fun to see you guys experiment with that, see what you can come up with. Let me show you a couple more images that Angus, now I'll get his name right, hopefully, that has done here. I'm not sure what I showed you. This one here, look at that. Absolutely incredible. Can't really tell what it is. Looks like it may be a fishing ball, for lobster pots or something like that. This looks to me like it could be Greece or Spain, chairs stacked up. Look at that rust. Look at the quality of the rust and the rotting wood below it, the paper, and the form. You can just feel that handle pop out. It's incredible. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Something so simple and yet such a dramatic painting. Wow, look at that. This is stunning work. Now, if you just tuned in, Angus McEwan from Scotland is on. He's our guest today. And let's see if he's back now. Are you back?
I wondered about changing the viewpoint so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Is this less laggy?
I think it's a little too far away.
We can bring that forward.
We could see what you were doing. It was pretty cool.
Is this okay?
I think closer would be better.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, how big do you? What's the biggest that you'll do a painting?
Larger than a full sheet.
Okay.
I do. I mean, you can see a full sheet behind me. Actually, the stools.
Uh-huh.
I do bigger paintings than that. I do, because I have a big roll of Fabriano. I will cut the paper and I will do some large pieces. So it's yeah, I'll just do whatever. And I do very small paintings as well. I go down to 15 by 20 centimeters. Right. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry about this. At least this is like real time. What I'm going to do now is, we're looking at this as an image. I'm going to now do the numbers, which was on our picture. And what I've done is cut out some cardboard. It's just cardboard. And what I'm going to do is print onto the cardboard.
I love this. This is something I don't think I've ever seen before. It's every day we learn something new on this show.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got some Van Dyke brown.
Some what?
Van Dyke.
Oh, Van Dyke brown. Okay.
All right, Van Dyke brown, and
we need an interpreter with our common language.
We had it first, I think.
I think you did. We botched it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think we're doing a fine job. Okay, so I always have to get this right. So what I'm doing is a little bit of Prussian blue and a little bit of the brown. And mix that together on the cardboard. Again, nice and thick. I think the numbers were 6-0, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. And print with that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Now you can, if you want to, you can put more on.
I love the way that it's letting some of it show through. So you're not brushing the whole thing evenly intentionally, I would imagine.
Well, it's down to the amount of pressure you put on.
Okay.
So we do the same with the 6. You always have to make sure you get it the right way around. I have been known to put paint on the wrong side. And again, nice and thick. I'm going to put some more in there just to complete that.
All right.
Okay. Oops.
Angus is a perfectionist.
Yeah, it has to be look like a 6. What I'm going to do now is I have a little mixture of basically it's quinacridone orange, and quinacridone burnt scarlet, which I've kind of mixed together in this bottle. And if you remember rightly in the image, it's kind of rusty up here because there's a lot of bolts. So I just very lightly spray that.
Could you do that with oil paint? I mean, could you thin oil paint with a Gamsol or something and then?
Yeah, you can do, but I wouldn't. You need to wear masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have done it. But you need one of these masks that the respirator.
Respirator, yeah. Otherwise, you'll be breathing it in.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. I did that once when I was working, and all behind me, I was using blue. All behind me, everything was covered in blue, so it was in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
so
including your lungs.
Yeah. So I'm clean water, and this time you want to control it a little bit more. And what I do sometimes, I just use something like this just to make it so be, stop it from being too sort of drippy. You might even want to break up bits of it.
I think we're all just big kids. This is so much fun to watch.
It's fun to do. I think that's why I enjoy doing it. It's because I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I have a vague idea, but
somebody said you could use water mixable oils to do the same effects. I think that's right.
Yeah. You probably could.
And acrylics.
Yeah, I've done it in acrylics. I'm going to use some burnt umber. Just to sort of dirty this up a little bit. So Van Dyke Brown.
Hard for us to see when, the impact of the flicking at this camera angle.
I can later maybe zoom in with the other camera.
All right.
For some reason, the camera, when I put it through the software, it seems to lag very badly. So this is the webcam and it's working fine. It's I'm not quite sure why.
Well, technology is something I don't understand.
It normally works fine. I think it's just this has just landed at a time where we're having a problem. So this is just the Van Dyke Brown. So the Van Dyke, as you can see, is quite a dark color. Now, what I want to do now is give it a wee blast with the hairdryer again, if that's okay.
A wee blast. Okay, well, I'll take you off for a second and I'll show some more images. Our guest today is Angus McEwan, and in Scotland, and I've been showing you images of his work. Let's see, what did we see? I think we've seen that one. That's new. Stunning door. Makes me want to go to Europe and take pictures. Look at that. It's another door handle. I mean, it just looks like rusted iron. So effective. Really incredible. Wow, that's beautiful. Complex scene. A lot of rust. Now we're all going to be looking for rust for our subjects. Ooh. Now I'll be curious to learn about that because that's got a lot of drawing involved. Incredible. We're stalling while he's drying his painting so he can get to the next level on it. Ooh, I remember seeing this somewhere. It's beautiful. Fantastic. So our guest is Angus McEwan in Scotland. He's going to be part of the Watercolor Live event, which is going to be taking place in January. And are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not very good at stalling, I have to admit.
I thought you were a radio DJ at one point.
Well, this is different, You have to talk for 6 seconds between the records.
Yeah.
I'd never do well in talk radio.
I don't know if you know about aquarelle pencils. These are called Neocolor Aquarelle. They're by Caran d'Ache, but I've used the Daniel Smith as well, which are just basically pure pigment. What's interesting about these is that they have a little bit of wax in them, so you can see there that they are very soft, and they kind of smudge slightly, but you can apply water to them and they then just dissolve. So what I'm going to do here is just to kind of take the edge off of this because it's too kind of black. I'm just going to take that across the surface. Now, we talked before about the surface being very lumpy. What we're doing is we're just catching the sort of top parts of the paint.
Nice.
So, if we wanted to, we can kind of almost get rid of some bits of it if we think that it's too much. These are great when you're outside doing plein air because you can work with these on top of wet surfaces, or you can work on top of the dry. They're better than watercolor pencils. I prefer these. They're much more kind of painterly.
And what are they called again?
These are Caran d'Ache Aquarelle Neocolor 2.
Okay.
And you can get all sorts of colors. So the kind of last stage for me developing the painting, obviously this is a kind of quick, fast way of getting into it, is I start working with a lighter color and a darker color to kind of enhance the detailing. You're not obviously going to see an awful lot of the detailing, but what I do is I create tints of color. So this is actually manganese blue and some white, and it creates a very light tint. And I never use just white. I would actually just work with a tint as opposed to white. And what I'm thinking about is that the light's coming down here and it's catching the surface. So how do I make that look like it's three-dimensional? So what I do is get myself a smallish brush, and I think about the light coming down here, and it's going to catch this edge here and creating an edge. And all these little marks that I've made in here, I can pick out.
Any chance you can get your easel closer to the webcam?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds while I try
let's do that. I think I'm sorry to do that to you, but I think everybody's struggling. Awesome. That's great. I know, it's right up there.
Yeah. Can you see it? Is it in focus?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm doing is thinking about the light coming down here, and these are holes. These are going to create little holes. And if I want to create the illusion of a bump, then I would put it on the other side of these ridges and things. So I would put it somewhere like that. And so I kind of play around with the paint, and let me sort of work with the paint. So I'm not working against it. I'm actually working with it, so that I'm thinking about where the light comes down here and catches the edge, and how that kind of creates the feeling of light catching something that has sort of substance to it. And so this could take, this sometimes takes quite a bit of time where I kind of play around with this and work right around the surface and sort of create this illusion of a very kind of lumpy surface.
Whenever there's a small brush involved, you can count on increasing the amount of time for coverage.
Yeah, well, I got these specially made small brushes so that they're just for detailing, and I use them a lot. Sometimes I use them exclusively on a picture. So, yeah, you're right.
Now, are those something that you sell?
I do. Normally I just sell them to my students in the workshops. I get them made in Russia.
Well, you could probably get a couple hundred people on here to buy one from you.
Yeah. I've never advertised, but they're Kolinsky sables. They're decent brushes. So I'm going to use a black. Now I don't use black. I use a kind of Prussian blue, sort of Van Dyke brown mix. And again, I'm thinking about shadow areas. Shadow being the other side of these lumpy bits there. A nice little shadow there, and maybe some of these little holes that I've created in this edge here, and just working around that, you can then start to create an illusion of depth, a very kind of shallow surface. And I spend a bit of time doing that again, is just sort of creating that illusion of a lumpy surface, and kind of just playing with the lumps that I've created just by playing with this thick paint.
Well, you got about 12 minutes, so we would love just watching you doing whatever you want to do.
Okay. So I spend, like I say, quite a bit of time doing this. I'm just going to clean my hands because they're absolutely covered in paint. Normally, as you saw in the other one, I would put some bolts in and use acrylic paint to do that. You can use that as a resist, and you can spray that back out. And that.
Can you explain what a resist is? Because some people won't know that term.
So it basically means that I'll show you here. This is the gold acrylic here. So I just use spots of gold acrylic, and you can work on top of the watercolor. And you can develop a really kind of fine, sort of detailed bit if you want to, just working with the watercolor on top of that. But what happens is once I cover it with paint, I can squish it with some water, and it just reveals that, and it won't remove the acrylic. The acrylic stays there, but it removes the watercolor. So I can spray that, and it would just take that right back off. And I use that as a technique to kind of create this irregular shape. So you can see it's just spots of acrylic at the bottom, but up here it's more resolved and kind of creates more of an interesting surface. And when you look at it, it just catches the light. It's got a little bit of a glint to it as well. So I use that sometimes to do maps and things like that. So you can see maps within the watercolor paint, just revealing themselves. So I just experiment, just play around with these things and see what happens. But you know, there's a lot of people kind of think of watercolor and they have a very sort of preconceived idea of what watercolor should be. And I like just to think of it as just paint. It's just paint that I use. And I'll experiment with it and I'll do things with it that you maybe wouldn't expect. Some of these are a bit light, to be honest.
So you're really trying to create that kind of 3 levels. You got your highlights and your dark shadows.
Yeah, it's in the simplest form. Yeah, that's it. Like sort of scenery, stage scenery.
When you put the bolts on the other painting with acrylic, did you stamp them on as well?
No, I just put them roughly arbitrarily. I just painted them on with a brush.
And we're using thick paint, so you try to get a 3-dimensional quality?
I use thick paint only because if you use it very thinly, sometimes it washes away. It doesn't have any impact. So I would use it quite thickly, so that it has a bit of presence, really.
Somebody asked, if watercolor is thick, does it flake off?
No. If there's too much gum arabic in it, it will crack and come off. But these paints, they're almost sticky in actual fact, and they're quite amazing. I mean, you can use that. You can squish it and spray it, and you can see like it goes right back to the paper. You can spray that, take it right back, and then you can work back into it if you want to. So it's not as if it's stuck there. That's just you can brush away at that, and you can create a hole, and then you can work into that if you want to. So
somebody asked if you have a parrot. They thought they heard a parrot.
A parrot? That was our puppy.
Oh, the puppy parrot.
Yeah, our little puppy that we got a couple of days ago.
It's that brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, you bring him on. We want to see him. We want to meet him.
I can. I think I'm boxed in at the moment.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah. So that's what I do. I just spend a little bit of time going around this and just tidying this up. I'm actually just sort of padding for time, to be honest, because it's I've kind of done more or less what I would like to do with this. Just gives
you're really you're trying to create this sense of texture by putting these highlights in.
I'm trying to play around with the texture that I've created and enhance that. Normally, I would do things like I would splatter into this with lighter colors as well, just to lighten that up. There's so many other things that kind of are going on in there that I could utilize. But playing around with the surface, this is kind of basically what I'm doing with the surface and building that up and creating that illusion. When you want to bring the pup in?
Yeah, puppies make people they increase the ratings.
When it's all going wrong, bring the puppy in.
Oh no, it's not so right.
Oh, hi.
Oh, he's wreaking havoc in the other part of the house.
Oh, he's adorable.
Yeah.
Thumbs up for the puppy, guys. And what's the puppy's name? What's his name?
Bo.
Bo?
Bo, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it took us months to come up with that.
You better be careful. We have it. we have a world famous dog painter on here, and Joanne Manji will probably want to paint that puppy.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful. The parents are beautiful. You know, the mother and the father are just amazing looking dogs.
Somebody asked why you're not just using gouache instead of watercolor when you're using thick paint.
It's mainly well, I don't want it to be a gouache. This is definitely watercolor paint. You could use gouache if you wanted to, but it's a matter of me. It's a matter of principle, really, because a lot of people then just say, "Oh, it's just a gouache painting." Well, there actually isn't any gouache involved. This is actually it's all watercolor. It's just using it in a slightly sort of different way, really.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Well, what we'd like to do in the next couple of minutes when you wrap up is maybe you can hold it up to the camera or something so people can see the depth of detail on it. That'd be really terrific.
Yeah, I did intend to use my better camera, and you could then really zoom into it, but unfortunately,
that's okay. That's all right. We're happy.
I'm glad.
I think everybody's blown away just by watching the techniques that you demonstrated today. Absolutely amazing. I never really thought about doing that, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think it would also make some great underpaintings. Just for instance, I do a lot of landscapes. I think doing something like that underneath a landscape would really create some interesting texture.
Yeah, well, I mean, the painting I have in the background there, this big one here, that's the underpaint. It's all like that. That's how I started it, and then I work on top of it, and all the lumps and things that I've created are all painted on top of that surface. So it's something you can use. I don't use it all the time. I just use it occasionally, but it's something you can utilize when it's appropriate. And
yeah,
I think that's what it's about.
Well, why don't you pull that off and let us see it?
Sure.
Ah, nice.
It's yeah, it's quick.
And then for people who didn't see the other example, hold that up so we can see that.
Yeah. So that you can see that it's a more refined.
Yeah.
Just because I've kind of worked on it and developed it and made the black numbers more subtle.
Now, when you put the boards in, the lines of the boards, was that just paintbrush or did you stamp those in?
No, I just painted these in with a paintbrush.
Yeah. Well, this has been fascinating, Angus. Fascinating. Thank you so much.
Okay. Sorry, it was a bit
do you want to give a little teaser what you're going to do on Watercolor Live? Because you said it's going to be completely different.
Yeah, it's actually going to be slightly more traditional, but it's going to be looking at wood and rust and maybe a door.
Okay. Somebody asked, do you ever use any metallic colors?
Yeah, well, so there's a gold acrylic in there. I don't tend to use metallic watercolor. I would use metallic like a golds and silvers and things in the acrylics to create a specific effect. But I haven't used it as watercolor.
All right.
I played around with iridescent paints, but I wasn't a fan. It was a wee bit painting like glitter. Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Well, it looks like you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any way? Great. Do you have any way you can turn the camera and show us your studio?
Well, I can try.
I'm sorry, I'm causing trouble here, but everybody always asks. So,
well, yeah, my studio is. Let's see if I can. This is actually.
That's probably in your laptop or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it is on. It's not even a laptop. It's actually a piece. So yeah,
see, you need to do this. See, I have a turntable. See, I can just go like, wait, I'll do it. I can just go like this. Ooh, baby.
Well, the other one, I can do that, but of course, it's not working very well. So, unfortunately, it didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. But I think we kind of made the best of a.
Well, this was one of the most unique and one of the most exciting that we've had in 229 days. Fabulous. So everybody, thumbs up and applause for Angus McEwan in Scotland. We now have a friend in Scotland we can go visit.
Yeah, definitely.
and you're going to be on Watercolor Live, which is pretty exciting. So thank you for doing this today.
Yeah, no, it's no problem, and I'm really looking forward to January and doing the Watercolor Live. I think it's going to be an awesome thing. It's
yeah, I think we're going to have a huge number of people from all over the world.
Yeah, no, I think I admire all the painters, so it's there's something for everyone.
There's not a bad painter in the bunch, that's for sure.
Not at all. They're all good friends as well, which is even better.
Well, thank you again, everybody. If you want his website, I'll put it up real quick here. It's Angus McEwan.com. And you can learn all about him and his paintings and everything there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye. Wow, what a fabulous experience. This is so much fun. Every day we're learning something new, and this is really terrific. Before we go, in case you just tuned in, I want to remind you we're doing a worldwide watercolor event. It's called Watercolor Live. It's coming up in January. Go and check it out. It will blow you away. You can watch from your computer. You can have replays if you can't make the dates. It's called watercolorlive.com. Just go there. Also, if you have not done this, make sure that you get our watercolor newsletter. It's called American Watercolor with Kelly Kane, and it is americanwatercolor.net. And of course, you hit, you can do the subscribe button, or you can put .net/subscribe. Make sure you do that because we have watercolorists every week. We feature from all over the world. Last but not least, make sure you get our free video, 97 Amazing Painting Secrets from the World's Best Artists. It's yours. It's a $100 value. It's 2 hours, and it's got a lot of great things in it. And you can get it digitally, or if you want to pay the shipping, you can get it in DVD as our gift to you. All right. Reminder today, we have the great Joseph McGurl Advanced Landscape Painting, one of the over 600 videos that we have produced in the last 30 plus years. I didn't do them all, but they're part of our group now, and we're really proud to represent these people, including Joseph McGurl, who is one of our top sellers and just one of the world's great guys. And so don't forget that today on YouTube or Facebook. Just search out Streamline Art Video, and know that we're here every day at 12 noon, every weekday at 12 noon. And our 3 p.m. videos are every day, 7 days a week. And just want to encourage you to join our family. Make sure to leave a comment. Tell us where you're from if you're watching this in the replays or live, because we're going to go in and pick people from all over the world and give away prizes. Today's prize for tomorrow's giveaway is a pair of value specs. You can learn more about them at paintbynote.com, and that's where you'll find the value specs. All right, you guys, thank you for watching. This has been a Red Letter Day. I'm Eric Rhoads, publisher of Fine Art Connoisseur and Plein Air magazines, and we will see you tomorrow at 12 noon. Bye-bye.